What is going on? We are back in black in the building, man. What's going on? Hey, man, I got pre-recorded. I don't know what the fuck going on. Is something wrong? I think I probably got to update my MacBook Pro because it's not. I can't even stream shit no more. But I don't give a fuck. I like kind of pre-recording anyway. I like people to. I don't really care too much about the live. I didn't care about that shit. I was doing it at crazy times anyway. So it don't matter. Hey, man, shout out to everybody out there. Shawnee, Erica, Tasha. Dave for No Compromise, James Youngblood, all y'all, man. Shout out to all y'all, man. I'll figure it out. The live streaming ain't really that important to me. I don't give a fuck. We gonna get into it today. We gonna do a part 2, man. Lacking knowledge of self. We gonna talk about that, man, with the police officers, man. We gonna get into it, but before we do, you know I'm gonna hit y'all with, did Jesus come back today? You know I'm gonna hit y'all. I'm gonna hit you. Did he come back? You did all that hooping and hollering, and you gotta fight yourself, and you gotta fight the dominant society and everybody around, man. Let's get into it, man. I was watching this thing about they had this brother on there talking about, you know, police brutality and all that. But we gonna get into it. We gonna talk about all of that, man. Let's get it, man. Let's do it. Cut this shit down. Man. Hey, this is one thing that I've noticed. And Tasha, all y'all, I know Tasha and them is probably, leave your comments, man, because I want to hear what y'all got to say. Do y'all notice that they pouring it on thick because these are niggas that killed a brother? Oh, they are pouring it on so thick. They fired them right away. They reprimanded them. They got their pictures out there. They didn't even need to do no investigation. I don't understand why black folk in the United States of America Incorporated think they can do what the dominant society does. You are not them. This system is not built for you. And that's including everything. That's why we have to handle business according to what we see and what we do. We sometimes get around the dominant society and think we can do what they do. I don't do that. Especially at these jobs, man. We don't do that. You know, and that's lack of knowledge of who you are, and that's lack of you reading the ISIS papers. You're reading Neely Fuller Jr.'s book, The Compensatory Counter-Racist Code of Ethics. You know, it's called racial showcasing confusion. You get around a dominant society person and they kind of parade you around like you that person. That's just racial showcasing confusion. They don't give a fuck about you. They just use you as a proxy. And we have to understand that, man. I don't think we really get the gist of what is going on, because I think a lot of the times we think that, oh, well, you know what I'm saying, white folks are validating us. Well, why do you need validation from the dominant society? You shouldn't need validation from them. You should always have your own internal validation of who you are. And I think a lot of us don't know who we are. So what ends up happening is this. A lot of us don't know who we are, and we get this estranged conscience when we get around the dominant society, because we long to want to be like them. I'm telling you, I was getting my oil changed, and I was talking to this brother, and we was talking about we were just talking about, the stadiums that was built, and he mentioned, LA, and I said, well, the mayor of Inglewood was basically like, Rams, you guys can build a stadium here, but we're not paying for shit. We're not charging, we're not raising taxes, we're not doing none of that shit. Y'all gotta pay for it. Rams owner was like, fuck it, then we'll pay for it, $5 billion. I said, that happened different here. And he was like, what do you mean? I'm like, we had to pay for that. They taxed us for that damn stadium where the Raiders ain't winning shit. And he was just like, man, that's fucked up. And I was like, you know why that the city of Inglewood was like, they already got city, county, federal, regional, state tax. They got so many taxes. That's why they like, man, we're not going to oblige on the invitation of raising people's taxes because y'all want to build a stadium here. No. It'll bring money here, but we're not raising taxes. Las Vegas did different because Las Vegas wants to replicate New York and replicate Houston and replicate Dallas, replicate LA. They really want to replicate LA so bad. So they want to get a stadium out here, which is too small for the stadium to be. Then you got the casinos who's fucking you over on parking and all this other stuff. They don't give a fuck about no Las Vegas natives. They care about the people and the goofies that are coming here that could afford to do it. So it no longer becomes about your loyalty. It becomes about whoever's got the money. And I say that to say this. Black folk are never going to have the money and the wealth that the dominant society has. So you cannot do what they do. That's why when I look at Las Vegas people, and they're like, "Go Raiders!" All this, you went to a Raider game? Yeah, where you sit at? Oh, in the nosebleed. Yeah, because you can't afford those seats below because that's reserved for the dominant society and people who replicate their behaviors and get the salaries that they got. You don't have that. So you cheering on a team that you're never gonna meet. They're never gonna do anything for you. This is how the dominant society is able to wield their fire with entertainment because they throw that shit out there. And that's what I mean by lacking knowledge of self. Because it's like, when you know who you are, you're like, man, look, that's entertainment. I can watch that on TV. And those cops, man, a lot of black folk, we tend to replicate that behavior, in my personal opinion, because we ain't never had no power. So when we get power, we act the fool at the jobs. It's just the truth. We act the fool at the jobs. We treat niggas like shit. We act like they don't matter. We cater to the dominant society. We chastise each other in front of the dominant society, and sometimes the dominant society be looking like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Because we think we're gonna, we're dog whistling. And that's what these brothers were doing. They probably didn't think they was gonna kill him, but that just shows how dogmatic they were, and that shows how dogmatic our mentality can be towards each other. What me and David talk about all the time, me and David, we're gonna have to do a live. David, holla at me, man. We're gonna have to do a live. Lacking intrinsic value. It's internal. You don't have that value. You just don't. You do not have the value. We see each other, we don't speak. We roll our eyes. We're looking at, if a person got a nice car, saying, hey man, that's a nice car, motherfucker. You don't want to congratulate. I've always said this time and time again, me and David talk about it. It starts in the home. It starts, parents, we got to stop socializing kids to be raised on this hierarchy of needs, political warfare game. You don't even know you're involved in it until you've done it for so long. And parents typically do that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Because they don't know. They just thinking that they're doing the normal. And it's like, you have to stop doing that. And the reason why I say you have to stop doing that is because what you're doing is you're teaching people that, dirty politics is the way to go. Yeah, if you're not cheating, you're not winning. And I understand that. But sometimes when you're dealing with politics within black folk, man, we take that shit literally. And then when motherfuckers, we more used to dealing with mean what you say and say what you mean. And when you don't do that, we have issues. And I think that a lot of that stems from that. I don't know those brothers who killed that brother, but I do know that, you could tell they were very comfortable with having that dogmatic mentality towards their own. It is almost the Stephen from Django, the telling about the gunline boss, the Hayward Shepherd. We love telling on each other. We love watching each other struggle. We don't like watching each other win. And I'll just say this. We've had I've had members of my family, they done won. I never went out of my way to hate on them. They had millions. I never went out of my way to hate on them. I kept a lot of my comments to myself. Now, what Warren did do is I could speak boldly about it. I was different, man. I did not try to place myself in a position where I was around those family members that was winning so I can get tangibles. Warren kept working and Warren kept doing what he was doing. And that's just how I am. And now those motherfuckers ain't got that shit no more. You can't find them. But I'm just saying, like, I don't do that type of sucker shit. That why you like, oh, well, man, I've had members in my family that had nothing. I took out a lot of time with these motherfuckers, and they ain't had shit. And I got several family members and siblings that could verify that. I ain't gonna put their names out there, but because I don't want people to think I'm just running my mouth. But man, I've had family members that I've taken out time with. I've wasted time. Look, I'll tell you like this. I've picked girls that I could have around my family members because other girls wasn't gonna put up with that shit. Just so I could be around my family members because my mom was like, oh, it's about family, it's about family, it's about family, and all this other shit. So then when these motherfuckers that ain't got shit, I'm feeding them, getting clothes off my back, taking out time with them. But you have to have intrinsic value in you. And I was doing it because my mom said it and all this other stuff. And then when these niggas get on, they act like they didn't know a nigga. But the one thing Warren did not do is, I never went to social media. I never said anything negative about the motherfucker publicly. I had my concerns internally with my siblings and with my family members, but I never said it to them. I just said, oh, this is what it's like to take out time with a motherfucker get on, and you don't hear from him no more. Okay. That's why I believe in there's relatives and then there's family. Family, to me, is the people that you choose to be in your circle. Relatives are blood-related people that you don't choose. And what I learned right then and there is you got family, then you got relatives. And it didn't bother me as much in the beginning because I felt like, oh, I'll give them time because I never wanted no money or nothing. I work in 2-3 jobs, man, for a long time. So I never gave a fuck about that. Because y'all always hear me talking about stuff, but y'all don't ever hear me talk about. But I can tell you this. This is a true fucking story. And what I found it interesting is motherfuckers will come around my siblings and my family and act like I didn't take out a lot of time. That's why Warren now was more reserved and more focused on what I need to do. Because when you grew up in the black church, a lot of times it's nothing to take out time with other kids because, the moms may have struggles and all, but sometimes that work is not appreciated. And what I have learned is you have to appreciate your own work and move the fuck on. So when I started to really see it, I just was like, oh, wow, well, he don't have intrinsic value in him because a person that has self-confidence and self-knowledge of who he is, he had no problem coming around me. And if I was to ask for something, he'd just tell me no. But I was never going to ask for nothing because I have what's called internal pride. I don't need to ask nobody for nothing. I'll just do it on my own. But a lot of the times, people feel that way, and that's fine. But when niggas take out time with you and you kind of do something opposite, it's not meant for you to get mad and get upset. It's meant for you to learn from that. So I wasn't pissed. I will never forget, I told my siblings, I told my mom, I said, I'm never fucking with them motherfuckers again, not like that, not on that scale. Even on my mom's deathbed, I was cordial, but nigga, I don't fuck with you, and you don't fuck with me, and that's fine, and that's how relatives are supposed to be. I'm not gonna be fake, I'm not gonna be phony. When you lose all your money, don't come around me with the sad stories, because I don't give a fuck about that shit. And then after my mom died, I felt the pressure was gone for me to have to smile and have to, be cordial with people. Now I'm like, all right, cool. I don't have to be cordial with these motherfuckers. I don't have to deal with these motherfuckers no more. I hope these motherfuckers don't never call me again. And I ain't heard from them since my mom is dead. And fuck them all. And if they ever heard this shit, I want y'all to go up any of my relatives that was on that sucker shit. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what I don't like about those black cops. Not lacking knowledge of self. You don't do that, man. That kid only had one life, and here y'all niggas are who have authority over this dude, and y'all kill him? Y'all must ain't got no fucking, y'all don't got no self-esteem, y'all ain't got no knowledge of who y'all are, y'all don't have no intrinsic value. And that's why I go hard on people or so-called relatives that only want to be family because you don't get a chance to pick and choose when you want to be family. You want to be family, be family. But these so-called relatives, you know, they get a little bit of money. You know how people are. They act different. They act like they don't know you. And you know, I'm a very, very intelligent person because I just watch for a minute. And then once I watch, I make my judgment. And then, like I said, after my mom passed away, I felt released. Like, all right, I'll deal with my siblings. Those are my siblings. But I'm not fucking with nobody else. No extension of the family, no none of that sucker shit. I don't believe in that. And the reason why I don't believe in it, per se, is because I feel like time and chance is granted to everybody. And it ain't about money. You know what I mean? Because if it was about money, then all of us would have been asking for some money. I never asked for nothing. Matter of fact, I didn't even participate in a lot of the internal functionings, you know, that they were having with family because I didn't want niggas thinking I was coming around for money. So I just kept to myself. But now, I know it ain't no money, and you ain't got no money. Oh, I definitely don't want to hear from you. For what? Fuck them. I don't ever want to talk to them motherfuckers again. Like, damn, Warren go hard. I go hard because when you're a kid and you are taking out time with children and taking out time with kids, that's your precious time, and you are sacrificing your time to deal with so-called family members. And then when they get on, they act like they don't know you. Fuck them. Fuck them. And they know. And if anybody sent them this video, they know who the fuck I'm talking about. They bum-ass motherfuckers who are leeches who come around my siblings and come around people I can't stand. That's called lack of knowledge, man. Lack of who you are. That's why I try to teach my younger siblings and people that are around me, not just them. Man, don't be going around people, you know what I'm saying? No, let them come around you and you always have your vision and your plan of who you are, what you want to be, and know where you're going. Fuck all that. Don't go around people because they successful, because they're going to put you in the goddamn motherfucking, they're going to put you in the Associated Press as a motherfucker coming around begging. That's why I'm glad I stayed the fuck away from all that shit, because I got knowledge of who I am. And those brothers did not have knowledge of who they were, and that's why we as a people, we're not going to move forward because we don't want to work together. You know what I'm saying? This brother, shout out to this brother on Instagram. His name is Primacy Tail, man. He's from Detroit. And I had posted a video, and I just told him, man, thank you for inspiring me. And he said, man, one of us is going to pop. And when one of us pop, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I know that. Man, I'm happy that the nigga is popping. Shout out to my brother Dave from No Compromise. That brother is about to do something really special. Really special. And whatever he charging for his patents, once he make it real big, I'm going to pay for it. And fuck all that. That's the problem. We don't want to see each other win. Now, for my instance with my family, I'm not going to lie. My siblings, for the most part, they want to see our cousins win. I never really heard no hating from my sibling side. I'm talking about internally. I never heard nobody say, oh, fuck them. None of that shit. It just started to go bad when niggas was like, well, damn, my brother was taking out time with these motherfuckers and they're not even fucking my brother. Now it's an issue. But, you know, that's just life. And we got to wake up and understand who we are. If I didn't have knowledge of who I was and where I was going, I'd have been jumping out the window and going on Instagram and going on Facebook and, you know what I mean? And it doesn't mean that you don't know who you are because you commented on the shit. It doesn't mean that at all. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I had the right out of anybody else to jump out the window and call niggas out for the bullshit and the whole shit that they was doing. But I didn't do that. I just chilled, relaxed, tried to enjoy my family out here in Vegas. And now niggas ain't got shit. Just like we ain't got shit. Now you can't find these motherfuckers. Because a lot of people are users of the system and users of the people that are in the system. And these particularly family members are. And these niggas know. They know, these niggas know not to call me, man, fuck y'all. Man, that's how I feel. And fuck those police officers, because I felt like these motherfuckers was socialized the same way. Fuck niggas, and niggas are the worst and all this other shit. There ain't no other way that you would kill somebody and do that the way you did that. And these niggas is probably wondering why, damn, they gonna go hard on you, nigga. You know how much police brutality that we face every fucking day since the slave days? And then the motherfucker wanna go out there and replicate the behavior of the dominant society? I hate that shit, man. And those people, I'm very disappointed in them, and they out of line for that shit. And that's why I always say it starts in the home. It doesn't. It did. All of a sudden, no. It starts in the home. It's how you're being socialized. What is people doing in your family tree to socialize you? Like, hey man, you're an intelligent person. You don't have to go down that road. But a lot of us are not being socialized that because our parents, a lot of us grow up church people, and when you're dealing with the church issue, it's very difficult because a lot of times it's just Jesus said it and read the Bible and pray every day and put it in God's hands. But it's like God gave us books too. And God gave us our thought leaders. Ivan Van Sertima, Professor James Smalls, Dr. Phil Valentine, Tariq Nasheed. You have all these people that have all this knowledge. Dr. Umar Johnson. Why are we wasting it? Why are we letting it go by the wayside? Pick up these books and read. And the reason why I'm saying that is because that's what it's there for, to give you a different perspective. Why you think I just be, looking at people a lot of times at the Core Plantation and I see how they act and I just be like, damn, they act just like them cops. It's more people, look, I hate to say it, but it's more black folk like them than it is people that are having the intrinsic value and knowing that we're on the same team. That's why I be telling people, just because a nigga is black, his wife is black, and they black this and pump the fist in the air, do not mean that they will not replicate the behavior of the dominant society at their motherfucking job. I don't understand why people doing that. That's why I don't, when people like, oh man, he cool, he black, he got a black sister. I was like, that don't mean shit. Nigga gonna get mad at me. I'm like, that don't mean shit. Oh, well nigga, you just saying that because you done dated everybody under the sun. I was like, no, I'm not saying it. I'm saying it from personal experience. Shout out to my nigga Leo, shout out to Kaylee and them. Them niggas know when I work at the YMCA, man, trust me. Not just there, many of other jobs. Personal experience of having black folk as your supervisor and they act worse than the white folk. And they got a black significant other. So I don't want to hear none of that. Don't mean nothing. No, you got to do the research and you got to do your due diligence yourself, man, because these people are not in it for you the most of the time. If you're around a person, and this is just my personal experience, if you're around a person that's trying to climb up the hierarchy of need, not for money, but for money and control and success, get away from them. Because they're going to step on your head to get to that money. They're going to step on your head to get to that success. And you can't get mad at them. I've worked around people like that. That's why when I see these cops, I'm laughing because I'm like, these niggas don't know what they've done, but they gonna see what they've done. That's why their faces are plastered all over the news. That's why everybody's coming out and denigrating them and stepping on them and spitting on them and getting the shovel and digging the grave for their asses. That's why everybody throwing them under the bus, and that's what the fuck they get because you are not a part of the dominant society and you can't do what they do. And motherfuckers be thinking that they can. Anytime the dominant society loves a black person to death, that means they're doing something wrong. And that's a fact. I done went way over my motherfucking time. I just wanted to share that, man, because I didn't want to make it seem like, you know what I mean? I didn't want to make it seem like, that I haven't been through, I've been through that shit too, man. At the work. Oh, what black person hasn't been through that at the job? Oh yeah, she a sister. Okay. Yeah, she married to a brother. Oh, okay. I don't care who she married to. I'm looking at who she is. I'm looking at who he is. Like I said, I've been around black, man. That's why niggas used to get mad at me. Oh, well, nigga, that's because you done dated everybody under the sun and shit. You don't give a fuck. You more like you fuck with whoever fuck with you, man. You don't just stay. Niggas used to give me that shit, right? And then I used to be like, well, let's just see how this black person go act. And then when it comes out, they're Mammy or they're Sambo. Most niggas be like, man, I can't stand you, nigga. I don't know how you be doing that. I'm like, I'm telling you. Nigga, I'm telling you, man. They get around the dominant society and they become them. They take on the worst characteristics and the attributes of the dominant society. That's why we have to do what is necessary for us. And like I said, man, David, we gonna have to do a live. That's why me and David like that. That's why I stopped doing Twitter Spaces. I stopped doing Twitter Spaces because I get tired of, I'm no diss to nobody, but I am not in the business of placing myself in positions where my Twitter Spaces have 150 people. I don't give a fuck about, that's the internet. I don't care about that shit. Niggas still gotta get up and go to work every day. So I don't care about none of that. I care about what type of, are we solving problems? Or are we just on there fighting and arguing on Twitter? I hate that shit, man. That's why I stopped doing the Twitter, because a lot of times I do Twitter space with my brother David. I'm doing the Twitter space with David. Niggas try to come in there and take over the Twitter space. David is just a cool, nice brother who's very respectful, and he don't trip, but I do. Because motherfuckers will come in your Twitter space and take it off. I remember one time, I'm interviewing David. This is a fact. David could fucking co-sign this. I'm interviewing David, and a nigga jump in the Twitter space, and we give him a chance to talk. He start asking David all these questions. Hey, nigga, this is not your interview. Because niggas don't have cool tact. They don't have decorum, man, because everybody want to be some type of star. That's why when I started this podcast with the homegirl Nuke, shout out to Nuke, shout out to Roxanne, I didn't want to do a podcast so I could have thousands of followers. I always in my mind envisioned, maybe people said I was crazy, but in my mind I always envisioned, y'all may think it's crazy, I want to do a podcast where it's about 6, 7, 8, 9 people that just watch my podcast, give me feedback, and that's all I want. I never really, if niggas know that follow me on Instagram, I don't never talk about my podcast on Instagram. I don't never talk about it when I do lives with David, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I just want to, I want my shit to be like a little secret fucking society podcast where only a few people know about it. That's really that's my perspective. But man, hey man, these brothers, watch what they do. They're gonna publicly humiliate and shame these people. Don't be surprised if one of these brothers kill themselves or if there's gonna be some bad stuff happening, because now that it's not the dominant society that's on the hot seat, they're gonna cook these motherfuckers like a nigga will cook some goddamn greens. Y'all see. But hey, man, that's my time. I appreciate everybody. James Youngblood, David No Compromise, Tasha, Erica, Shawnee, everybody, man. Shout out to everybody out there, man. Shout out to everybody handling business and doing what they need to do. Shout out to everybody that's handling business. And shout out to my siblings too, man. I got to send a special shout out to all of my siblings, because, man, we've had a rough life. And we don't even talk about that shit. One day, man, maybe I'll have them, hopefully I can get them all on and we can talk. We had a rough life, man. A very rough life. And I'm not talking about rough in the sense of like, oh my God, we didn't have no clothes and no, I'm talking about rough life mentally. There was a lot of mental battles that we had to deal with as siblings, and niggas never, look, the same cousins that we taking our time with, these niggas never even sat back and be like, damn, I think they kind of got it worse than us. And nobody never said anything. But anyway, I send a special shout out to my siblings, man. I'm proud of them. I'm proud of everybody in my immediate family handling business. It's not easy. It's very difficult. Shout out to everybody out there, man. You already know my famous words are, if you're not handling business, guilty, nigga. I'm out. Peace.